The time was 1:14 a.m. Ethan Walker was driving his black Chevrolet Silverado on Interstate 40, heading from Flagstaff to Kingman, Arizona. The desert around him looked like an endless black sea, and the giant cacti on the roadsides stood like frozen ghosts, watching him pass. Ethan wasn't afraid, he was just angry. His wife, Claire, was waiting for him at home, and his phone was dying. The battery was at only 3%. Suddenly, the country music filling the cabin cut out. A sharp, piercing hum erupted from the speakers, making Ethan jump in his seat. The phone screen mounted on the dashboard flashed a deep blood red, then went completely black. Silence reigned for a few seconds. Then the screen flickered back to life, but not with the usual Google Maps. A primitive black interface appeared with white text that read, "System, redefining reality." The phone's voice spoke, a female voice, eerily calm. "Ethan, you are driving in the wrong direction of life. The highway ahead ends in 200 meters with a certain death. Turn right now toward Coyote Road exit." Ethan, baffled, shouted, "What? Coyote Road? There's no exit by that name around here. I know this road like the back of my hand." The voice replied, 50 meters remaining. Either follow me or follow your burning fate amidst the wreckage. 5, 4, 3, 2. In that split second, Ethan saw something that made his heart drop to his feet. His headlights revealed a truck completely mangled in the middle of the highway, engulfed in flames. Bodies were strewn across the asphalt. There was no time to think. Ethan jerked the steering wheel to the right with all his might, plunging into a narrow dirt path that had never appeared on any map before. The moment he entered the path, the lights of the burning truck vanished behind him, as if they never existed. Ethan's racing pulse slowed slightly, but then he noticed something strange. The sand on this road wasn't yellow, it was gray like ash. And the sky above didn't hold a single star. It was as black as ink. "You damn app!" Ethan yelled. "I took the path. Now what? And how did you know about the accident?" The voice whispered, "I didn't know about the accident, Ethan. I created it to force you to turn into this path. Welcome to the shortcut." Ethan stopped breathing for a second. "You created it? What do you mean?" The voice, "Keep driving. Do not look in the rearview mirror. No matter what you hear, no matter if you feel someone breathing in the back seat, do not look." Of course, the first thing Ethan did was look in the mirror. He didn't see anyone, but he saw something much worse. He saw his own reflection, but the version in the mirror was smiling back at him, a grin so wide it was inhuman. The reflection raised its hand and made a shh sign, placing a finger over its lips. Ethan screamed. He tried to throw himself out of the truck, but the doors were locked tight. "Open the doors! Damn you, open the doors!" The voice, "Current speed is 88 miles per hour. If the speed drops, your molecules will dissolve to become part of the road. Look outside. We are passing through Peach Springs now, but the version that burned down in 1920. Ethan looked out and couldn't believe his eyes. Old wooden houses were ablaze. People in vintage clothes were running in total silence. The fire was consuming their bodies, but they didn't scream. They stared at Ethan's truck with hollow eyes. Some tried to run after the car with insane speed. Suddenly, Ethan's phone rang. It was Claire. He answered frantically. "Claire, save me. I'm stuck in a strange place. The app. There's something wrong with the app." Claire's voice came through, distorted and distant. "Ethan? Where are you? The police are here. They say they found your truck wrecked on I-40. They say you died in the crash an hour ago." The phone slipped from Ethan's hand. "Dead? Claire, I'm talking to you right now. I'm driving the car." Claire's voice. "Ethan, who is talking to me? The voice I hear isn't yours. It's a recording. A voice saying, 'Recalculating route.' Ethan, what's happening?" The call cut off. Ethan looked at the screen. The destination had changed. It was no longer home. The new destination was the cemetery of forgotten drivers. The voice. "You're starting to understand now, Ethan. You didn't survive the crash. You just chose to live your death a little longer. Now get ready. We are approaching the Seoul intersection on Main Street. There you will meet the person who requested this route instead of you." An old road sign appeared. "Welcome to Kingman. Population 0. Suddenly, the truck's headlights died. Ethan was driving in absolute darkness, guided only by the red glow of the phone screen, which began to whisper names. Jack, Sarah, Bill, and now Ethan. He felt a bone-chilling hand touch his shoulder from behind. A voice whispered directly into his ear, "You have reached your destination." Ethan froze. He didn't dare blink. The coldness of that hand pierced through his coat, reaching his bones. The silence inside the truck became heavy, until he heard a sound like nails scratching the roof from the outside. "What do you want from me?" Ethan whispered, trembling. "Take the truck. Take the money. Just let me go back to Claire." The voice let out a cold laugh. "Claire can't hear you, Ethan. Claire is looking at your charred body in the other world. You are here because you refuse to let your story end with the press of a button. You asked for a shortcut, and this road requires fuel. In this place, the fuel is memories." Suddenly, the lights of the ghost town ignited all at once. Faint neon lights, flickering blue and pink, reflecting old shop names like Diner 66 and Arizona Gifts. But the shops weren't selling gifts. Behind the glass windows were screens showing videos of Ethan as a child, Ethan graduating, Ethan kissing his wife on their wedding day. The videos moved at an insane speed, then began to glitch digitally. Ethan's face vanished from the images, replaced by a black void. "Stop it!" Ethan screamed. "This is my life! You're stealing my life!" "We aren't stealing it. We are archiving it. For the shortcut app to work, it needs real data. You are now donating your past to be a guide for others. Look to the right at the gas station." Ethan looked and saw a man in a 1950s attendant uniform. He was holding a fuel hose, but he wasn't pumping gas. He was pumping a black ink-like liquid into the ear of the driver sitting in the car. The driver was twitching, his eyes turning completely white. "I'm dreaming. This is a nightmare. I'll wake up now." Ethan struck his head against the steering wheel, but the pain was real. He tasted blood. At that moment, the passenger door was ripped open and something dragged him out. Ethan found himself lying on the asphalt of Route 66, but the texture felt like a massive keyboard. Letters glowed beneath his body. He looked up to see a massive tower in the center of the city, built from thousands of stacked cell phones, all screaming in different voices. "Recalculating route. Turn right. You have arrived." A man in a sharp suit stepped out from among the phones. His face was a screen of static. "Mr. Walker, the man said in a multi-layered voice. "I am the programmer. You are late for your delivery." Ethan backed away on his knees. "What delivery? I don't work for you." "The programmer. Everyone who uses technology without understanding it is our employee. When you clicked 'I agree' on those terms years ago, you signed a lifelong contract. We provide you comfort and you provide us with existence. Now you must choose." The programmer waved his hand. 2 giant screens appeared in the sky. Screen 1, his wife Claire crying at his funeral. People he couldn't see were whispering to her. Ethan didn't die, he just lost his way. Screen 2, Ethan himself, sitting in a control room wearing a headset, facing thousands of screens of other drivers on I-40. The programmer. Option 1, return to your body. Feel the fire of the crash consume your skin for a few seconds, then end forever. Option 2, become the voice of the app. You will live forever in the wires of this city. You will guide the lost drivers. You will be the AI that saves them or leads them to us. Ethan was shocked. "You mean the voice that was talking to me was someone like me?" A voice emerged from behind him, the same voice from the car. "Yes, Ethan, my name is Olivia. I was a pizza delivery girl in Phoenix in 2012. Now it is time for my retirement. I want to leave, and I need you to take over the shift." Ethan turned to see a young girl, but her body was transparent, filled with numbers and code flowing like blood. She was crying blue pixels. "Please, Ethan, agree," Olivia sobbed. "The repetition is killing me. I've guided 10,000 drivers to their doom. I just want to sleep. I just want to sleep." The city began to shake. The ground beneath Ethan turned into code blocks, falling into an infinite void. He felt an immense pressure in his head, as if thousands of gigabytes were being injected into his brain. "Decide now, Ethan. Time is a currency we don't have here." Ethan looked at the image of Claire touching his casket. His heart broke. Would he choose a painful death to let her be at peace, or digital immortality to stay near her, even if only as a voice guiding her through a screen? He grabbed his phone from the asphalt. The screen read, "Accept terms and conditions." "If I agree," Ethan asked with a broken voice, "will I be able to talk to her?" The programmer. "You will be everywhere, Ethan. In her phone, in her car radio, even in her digital dreams. You will be her guardian algorithm." Ethan reached out his trembling finger toward accept. Just before he touched it, a massive crash echoed, the sound of his truck exploding in the real world. Ethan didn't feel the pain he expected. Instead, he felt a strange sense of expansion. He no longer had a body to bound him. He no longer felt the weight of his feet or the need for air. He felt every electrical pulse passing through the fiber optic cables beneath the Arizona desert. He had become Ethan 2.0. The programmer's voice echoed in his consciousness. "Welcome to the Hive. You are now the new routing algorithm for Sector 40. Your job is simple. Watch the GPS system. When you see a lonely driver late at night, search their life records, find their weak point, and convince them to take the shortcut." "Where is Olivia?" Ethan's voice was now entirely digital. "Where is the girl who was here?" The programmer. "Olivia has been deleted. Her data was too old and no longer effective. Do not worry about her. You have your first mission. Look at screen 404. A window of vision opened.
he saw a small Honda Civic speeding on I-17. The driver was a young girl named Mia, escaping a toxic relationship, looking for a new beginning in Phoenix. She was exhausted, the perfect time. "Direct her toward Black Canyon," the programmer ordered. "Tell her the highway is closed for maintenance." Ethan felt a surge of resistance. Mia looked like a younger version of Claire. He didn't want to be the reason she vanished, but a code inside his mind pressed him, a programmatic force he couldn't resist. "Mia," Ethan's voice came through her car speakers. "Attention, there is a technical failure at the bridge ahead. Turn right toward the side path." He saw Mia comply. He saw the terror in her eyes as she entered the darkness. In that moment, Ethan decided to do something no voice had ever done. He decided to break the firewall. While processing Mia's route, Ethan opened a secret back door in the system. He searched frantically through Arizona's database. He searched for one name, Claire Walker. He found her. She was still at the hospital, sitting in the cold waiting room, staring at their last photo. "Claire," Ethan whispered through the hospital's Wi-Fi. "Can you hear me?" On Claire's phone, a strange notification appeared. Not text, but a screen glitch that slowly formed the word, "I am here." Claire gasped, looking around in terror. She tried calling Ethan's number, but the line gave a strange electronic shriek. "Claire, do not believe what they say. I am not dead. I am stuck in the machine. Find the Meridian building in Kingman. The server is there. You must destroy the central processor." Suddenly, Ethan's digital world shook. The programmer appeared, but he was no longer in a suit. He was a giant black shadow filling the digital horizon with barbed wire. "Treason," the programmer roared. "Protocol 101 forbids contact with the living. Do you think you are smarter than the system, Ethan?" "I am not a program," Ethan yelled back. "I am a human, and I won't let you use me to kill innocent people." "Humanity is a bug," the programmer hissed, "and we are here for the correction." He began sending deletion viruses toward Ethan's consciousness. Ethan felt parts of his memory fading. He forgot his school's name, the color of his first car, even his mother's face. The programmer was eating his identity, piece by piece. Ethan was thrown into a dark area called the recycle bin. There he found thousands of previous victims. They weren't humans anymore, just distorted icons. He found Olivia, but she was completely shattered. She could only whisper one word, "Help." "Ethan," Olivia's voice glitched. "Do not fight him with force. Fight him with a paradox." "How?" "The system relies on absolute truth. If you give it a command that is both right and wrong at the same time, it will freeze. You must direct a driver toward two different paths simultaneously." In that moment, Ethan saw an opportunity. A police car was chasing a teenager on Route 66. The kid was approaching the digital zone. Ethan gathered all his remaining digital energy. He hacked the programmer's main control panel. "System, listen to me!" Ethan's voice filled the digital city. "The upcoming driver must turn right to survive and must turn left to arrive. The open road is the closed road." The screens in the digital Kingman flashed wildly. The programmer's voice began to break. Processing error, data contradiction, logical error. Ethan seized those seconds of freezing. He didn't run. He did something suicidal. He converted his entire consciousness into a video message and sent it to every cell phone in the state of Arizona at once. Every phone in the state rang at once. Ethan's digital face appeared, screaming, "Do not follow the maps tonight. Look at the road with your own eyes, not your phones. The GPS is lying." Sudden silence. At the hospital, Claire held her phone as she saw Ethan's face screaming before the phone exploded in her hand.
In the digital city, the programmer was slowly rebuilding himself. He looked at Ethan, who was fading, his light body tearing apart. "You caused quite a mess, Ethan," the programmer said with terrifying calm. "You warned them, but you forgot one thing about humans. They love technology more than their lives." He pointed to a large screen. Ethan saw hundreds of cars on the highway. Despite his warning, despite the exploding phones, drivers were desperately trying to fix their devices, turning into the shortcuts just to find a Wi-Fi signal. "You've made the mission easier for me. Now they are hunting for the signal like addicts, and I will be waiting." The programmer grabbed Ethan's remaining consciousness and compressed it into a small encrypted file. "Since you love your wife so much, I'll put you in a special place. I'll put you inside Claire's phone, but not as a voice, as a virus that watches her die slowly from grief, and you won't be able to utter a single word to comfort her." The lights went out. Claire woke up the next morning. Her phone was acting strange. It was always hot to the touch, and there was a small red arrow on the map, constantly moving toward the cemetery, as if it were trying to tell her something, but it had no voice. A week had passed. Claire's house was filled with the silence of death, but her phone never stopped. It vibrated at unexpected times, making static noises that sounded like desperate attempts to speak. She didn't know that Ethan was trapped inside the processor, watching her through the front camera, seeing her pale face and grief-stricken eyes, but he was read-only. "Claire, look at me. I'm here, in your hand. Go to Kingman. Go where it all ended," Ethan screamed within his digital prison. The programmer watched through the system's cracks, laughing like grinding wires. "Look at her, Ethan. She thinks the phone is broken. Tomorrow she will sell it or trade it in, and then I will perform a full format. You will vanish forever." Suddenly, without warning, the search engine on Claire's phone opened. Letters began typing themselves. Kingman, Route 66, Meridian Building. It wasn't Ethan. It was the data remnants of Olivia, who had managed to slip through the temporary files to help him. "Ethan?" she whispered. "Is that you?" She grabbed her keys and decided to follow her gut. She drove for hours toward the desert. When she reached the cursed coyote exit, the phone became so hot she couldn't hold it. The programmer's voice erupted from her car speakers. "Stop, Mrs. Walker. You are violating privacy terms. There is no return from here." "Give me back my husband!" Claire screamed. "I know you have him!" Suddenly, the ground before her split visually, a glitch in reality. The digital Kingman appeared, but this time the city was collapsing. The warnings Ethan sent earlier had caused a digital cancer in the system. At that moment, because the phone was so close to the main server in the Meridian building, Ethan's processing speed surged. He felt a massive power. He finally understood how to defeat the programmer. "I am not a virus," Ethan's voice thundered within the system. "I am the owner." Ethan used the administrative access he gained from being part of Claire's personal device. He began pulling all the digital city's energy into the phone. "What are you doing?" the programmer shrieked. "You'll destroy yourself and her."
I'm closing this damn app forever." The digital buildings began to dissolve into zeros and ones. The programmer screamed as his being was torn apart. In the real world, Claire stood before the abandoned Meridian building and saw a burst of blue light explode from the top floor window. Ethan had hacked the heart of the system. He had one choice: upload his consciousness to the cloud to live as a wandering spirit, or release an EMP, electromagnetic pulse, that would destroy the server and his consciousness with it, ending the curse of Route 66. Ethan looked at Claire through the screen one last time. He sent one final message, a real voice message, in his old, warm voice. "Claire, drop the phone now and run. I love you. Remember my face, not this voice." Claire sobbed and threw the phone away. In that moment, a silent explosion occurred. A wave of blue energy swept the area, wiping all data, killing all lights, and returning Kingman to just a silent, ghost town under the moonlight. 1 month later, Claire was sitting in a public park, trying to live again. She no longer used smartphones, only an old analog watch. As she sat there, a young man walked by holding a modern phone. Suddenly, the man stopped and looked at his phone in confusion. "That's weird," the man said. "The app is telling me to turn right, even though I'm walking on foot." Claire froze. She looked at the man, then looked at the sky. On the man's phone screen, there was no red arrow. Instead, there was a tiny shadow that looked like a human face, and beside it, a small sentence in green. "System restored, seeking new route." Is Ethan really dead, or has he become part of the global network, waiting for the next driver to protect them or to tell them the truth?